Hello friends, I am Dr. Patil. I welcome you all in today's free webinar arranged by us. So today we are going to see some important things. Dr. Hahnemann has done great work by discovering the homeopathy and making it correct, complete and perfect system of medicine. So he spent his whole life in searching the truth, and at the last he is saying that the truth for which I have searched throughout the life, I got it in the form of homeopathy. So you know that this is a great legacy left behind by Dr. Hahnemann. But my question is, are you doing it correctly? Most of you may have get amazed or may get astonished with this question. But now I think it's the right time to think out what legacy Dr. Hahnemann has left for us. Are we following it correctly and completely? Master himself said that, mimic me, but mimic well. So what did he wanted to say in this sentence? He wanted to say that we just have to follow him correctly. So we'll see how it is. So the question is, if you are sure for all of us, so I know that most of you are the practitioners. You read some books regarding homeopathy, then you are having your own experience, your own method of practice, and you all are well established homeopaths in the homeopathy field. But today I would like to request you, I am going to highlight few points which most probably most of you are not following as what written in the Hahnemannian books. So if you really want to get this knowledge as it is what Dr. Hahnemann has given us, you just put your all ideas, all your experiences, all your knowledge sidewise, so that you will get the correct understanding from the Hahnemannian literature. Also, I have already told you, I requested you people, you come up with these Hahnemannian books, Mother, Organ of Medicine and Diploma Medicine, so that you can code it down in your books, and you can verify it. So this information which you are going to get today may create some turmoil within you, because you are having your own experience and your own practice. So this can be new facts for you. But don't just accept or contradict it. No need to go for direct acceptance or no need to go for contradiction. You just listen us. After listening, you find out these truths, these facts, these references in the Hahnemannian books. And then at the end of this seminar, whenever we complete our day, we will ready to give you the answer for all the questions in the last session. So we will be having some healthy discussion so that we can get something, we can reach to the original Hahnemannian way, original Hahnemannian thought process. So this is the sole intention of this webinar. So to understand these facts, we need to know what Dr. Hahnemann has written, what he has done the work. So we know that Dr. Hahnemann has published 6 editions of Organon, starting from 1st to 6th, from 1810 to 6th edition was ready to publish in 1842. So and he improvising himself and after experimentation and writing it down in the different editions. So sixth edition was most last document, we can say, the last work of Dr. Hahnemann regarding the homeopathic practice. So if we read it in the translator's preface, what Dr. Hahnemann himself is saying about this organ, this edition, that I wanted you to pay the attention. So in translator's preface on page number 7, Dr. Hahnemann has written one letter to his publisher, Shaw. And in that letter, he is writing that I have now, after 18 months of work, in this sixth edition, nearly perfect. Means whatever the editions Dr. Hahnemann has published before this, and in comparison with those editions, this is the sixth edition most nearly perfect. Means this is most perfect, nearly perfect. So from this we come to know that the ultimate work, most refined work, most refined guidelines are given in sixth edition of Organon. Now we must know that why I am taking this. We know that already that sixth edition was delayed in publication. We got it published in the 1920. And in English edition we got it in the 1920. So there was a vast delay in edition, and by the time fifth edition thought process or teachings get widespreadly accepted all over the world, and this also impacted a lot. And even after publication of the sixth edition, even though we are having available it, but most of us didn't understood the thought process. So we will come to know afterward during this webinar how this incident affected us a lot. Even though the sixth edition was perfected, it was ready to publish in 1842, but we got it in the 1921, and now again 100 years has been passed. But complete application of sixth edition is not taking place by most of the practitioners. Now we'll see what Dr. Hahnemann has written about the cure. What does cure mean as per Dr. Hahnemann? There are so many differences regarding this cure, but I quote few of them so that you will realize the exact understanding of cure according to the Dr. Hahnemann. On the page number 21 in the preface of the fifth edition of Organon, Dr. Hahnemann is writing that cure will be certain and rapid in proportion to the strength with which the vital force will prevail in the patient, and hence homeopathy avoids everything in the slightest degree in failing. This is the fifth edition, 1833 it is published. And in aphorism 53, you will see the true mild cure takes place only according to the homeopathic method, which, as we have found by experience and deduction, is unquestionably the proper one, by which through art the quickest, most certain and most permanent cures are obtained, since this healing art rests upon an eternal, infallible law of nature. The pure homeopathic healing art is the only correct method, the one possible human art, the straightest cure, as certain as that there is but one straight line between two given points. From this reference, we come to know that Dr. Hahnemann is using some terminology for the cures. So, mild cure. What is that mildness? If we perceive what that mild is, then unquestionably the proper one means it will be unquestionably it should happen. Then Dr. Hahnemann is like quickest, most and most permanent cures. So homeopathic cure should happen quickly, most certainly, and Why? Because homeopathy rests upon the eternal infallible laws of nature. Now we'll go to this point also. What those infallible laws of nature are there? Are we really understood the laws, all these laws? So I will explain with two examples. What is the exactness of the nature's laws? But most important part of this aphorism of Hahnemann's writing is straightest way to cure as certain as there is but one straight line between two points. Means if we are putting 2 points on a blackboard and we want to join it, then there can be only one possibility, that those 2 dots we can join with single line, single straight line. So homeopathy is so certain like this. But today, if you see the scenario in the homeopathy regarding the homeopathy, you come to know that homeopathy is not the we don't get this cure like this. It's not in that straight away. Then certainty, homeopaths are not even knowing that whether that patient in front of him is going to get the result certainly. Then quickness is again the question. The rapidity and quickness is also missing. In layman, most of the layman they are taking at home is to they need to take medicine for a long mission. So all these misconceptions have been spread in the students and the layman. So we need to think about this. Why is so? But Dr. Hahnemann's is saying something different. So in aphorism 47 also, Dr. Hahnemann is writing that in aphorism 47 also, Dr. Hahnemann is writing that nothing could teach the physician in a cleaner and more convincing manner than what the medicine is to do or to cure in a sure and permanent manner. Here also Dr. Hahnemann is writing, he compares with the old sort of treatment allopathy with homeopathy, and there in comparison to that, Dr. Hahnemann is writing that teach the physician in a cleaner and more convincing manner. जो होम्योपैथी है वो प्लेन है और वो कन्विंसिंग or to use in order to cure in a sure and rapid and permanent manner. Means cure study is saying that surety and aspects are there compatibility with the process that takes place in nature. Again, he is natural process of the cure taking place in nature. These 3 dimensions we need to give all almost process. And to see whether we are getting this rapidity, this quickness in practice also. Not only we are going to actually in aphorism and food. Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying why we use the well food remedies and how the cure takes place. I could know that homeopathy is certain as mathematics. In homeopathy, mathematics. So if you follow the correct teaching of Hahnemann, then homeopathy works as a mathematics. Means 2 plus 2 as what happens difference in the mathematics. Like that, certainty and accuracy. This is all what about Dr. Hahnemann sir is telling us regarding the cure from his writings. Now, this is all about the Hahnemann sir's explanation, or we can say his expectation from us. Now we see if I don't get this accuracy, the certainty, the happiness. So there are some reasons. So missing is there. We try to find out with some examples, but missing. So one more thing which missing is our knowledge or understanding about the health, disease, and cure. So if we see it, if we read the aphorism 14 onwards, we will clearly come to know 14 to 16 what actually health, disease, and cure is. So health is actually the harmonious function of the mind, body, and spirit. Absence of all the signs and symptoms means we don't know our body is working, our body parts are working. When this harmonious state is there, we can say that this is health. In 9 and 10 aphorism also Dr. Hahnemann is writing. Now, why this is important to understand? Because many times we come across many patients that they say that they don't have any problems, any signs and symptoms, but they are having problem in their investigations, blood reports, or some other investigations. There we need to understand whether that person really is suffering from any disease. So, how much we are relying on the medical test, on the investigation, that we need to verify. But yes, Dr. Hahnemann's understanding regarding the health was accurate. So if there are no signs and symptoms, no suffering, his mind, body, and spirit is working harmoniously, that means he don't have any disease. But most of the time we don't think in this way. As the reports, investigation reports are suggesting some variation in the parameters, as per that we label that person as a disease and we try to treat him also. And we forget Dr. Hahnemann's understanding about the health. So in aphorism 11, he is saying that whenever there is a loss of ease, so loss of ease is a disease, loss of ease. So this loss of ease means presence of some signs and symptoms, and then only there is a disease. If you see in your practice, if you can verify from your knowledge, you come to know that everywhere, whenever the person is having any disease, he will be in signs and symptoms. That means this basic understanding of health and disease is most accurate. Even many times you see the person is having no signs and symptoms, but he is having some problems in investigation, then you must doubt whether that person is really having any disease or is there any problem in the reports, that erroneous reports. For example, I will give one example. In Indian women, most of the women are having hemoglobin below 10, 11, 12, even during pregnancy, and most of the blood investigation reports, they suggest that normal hemoglobin percent should be 10 to 14 for women. That means even though each and every woman from India is having one certain range below 10, but she is not having any signs and symptoms. But people or the doctors treat that patient with hematinics, pregnant ladies, hematinics, because she is having problems in their report. She don't have any signs and symptoms. But we don't think what that medicine is going on, what that medicine is doing inside that body. Many times you will observe that in spite of giving that medications, hematinics, still the hemoglobin percentage is not increasing up to the normal range which is given in the reports, investigation reports, reference range. That means you must doubt what is the reality, the experience, what you are seeing, what you are observing, levels in the patient is correct, or the reference range which is given on the investigation reports is correct. So likewise, you have to find out what is health and disease from the symptoms, signs and symptoms, and from the investigation. Simultaneously, both reports, both things you can utilize. Okay, but you must think what Dr. Hahnemann is wanted to tell us. The cure. Whenever the person is coming with the signs and symptoms, some morbid state, some disease state, and he is getting free of that, he becomes symptom free, and that also rapidly, gently, and permanently. So everywhere Dr. Hahnemann sir is writing this sentence, rapid, gentle, and permanent, many places, starting from even aphorism 2 and few references I have told. So regaining the health is the cure. Means absence of signs and symptoms means the person is disease free. So it is necessary to understand these three terminologies as per the Hahnemannian understanding, or it's having great significance. Many times person is saying that he is going on taking medicine for long duration, say hypertensive, antihypertensive or antidiabetes, and he is thinking that he is healthy now. But actually he is not at all healthy. As the days goes on, as days are passing, years are passing, he is going to land in a more serious disease, and it definitely happens. Even though medicines, they are saying that we are maintaining the level, but many times, mostly, they also not get maintained. We know that in the blood sugar or in the hypertensive, whenever the range of that parameters goes above the normal range, that means it will cause some harm. It went on going on damaging that person. So apparently patient think that he is under medication, he is apparently well, but the scenario is exactly opposite. That is also explained in aphorism 74 also. So artificial chronic disease. Now another missing thing is that state simillimum versus constitution or person as a whole. So we need to understand this also. What actually Dr. Hahnemann wanted to tell from the state minimum. Another version we used to listen from the homeopath that we treat a person in disease or we treat a person as a whole. But what Dr. Hahnemann wanted to say from the term morbid state or a disease in a person, he said that don't give importance to those things, don't give the importance to the diagnosis or the name of a disease, but we have to treat that diseased state. So another is individualization at the mind, nature or personality level. And Dr. Hahnemann is telling about the morbid state. So most of the time we say that individualization on the basis of personality, on the basis of his mental state, even some many times healthy mental states also we are considering. So something is missing here. Dr. Hahnemann sir is writing about the morbid state. If the person is having some derangement or some symptoms at the level of mind during the disease, then those are important. Like Dr. Hahnemann sir is telling. Now, this state minimum criteria is most important. So what is state criteria? So selecting the similar remedy which is having capacity to create the state or morbid state. So here we are taking in consideration the affected organ and the influence organ, all the signs and symptoms of this, and then here nowhere Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying about the altered healthy state. We are not considering this healthy healthy mind state like that. So this is not told by Hahnemann. Everywhere Hahnemann sir is telling about the altered state of health, morbid state. So the person's signs and symptoms during disease, like that. So if you see this in the organ of medicine, there are almost 107 places where Dr. Hahnemann is saying about this state. Even during the proving, there he is saying that altered state of health caused by the medicine due to the prover, and during considering the totality of a person and selection of the medicine, all the steps during the steps, and you during the after cure when the person is becoming there also is saying that now regaining a state of health means absence of signs and symptoms. So if you see it, read the aphorism 24 to 27, there everywhere Dr. Hahnemann is saying about the diseased states. But very wrongly, most of you are considering person whole disease or visualization of person at level, personality level, physical appearance level, like that. So the mathematics later on came the Dr. Hahnemann. Most of them are including this material, and we are also get so much accustomed with this methodology, we never think about what Dr. Hahnemann sir is telling us. Now, regarding this state, it is written in the many places in the chronic diseases also. Especially if you read Cure of Sora chapter, there he is saying about the morbid state, means the person's signs and symptoms during the disease state. And everywhere, almost everywhere in the Materia Medica Pura. Whenever you read the Materia Medica Pura, you will come to know that there are states. This is what actually the states minimum or the actual Hahnemannian way of considering the totality that we need to understand. You can verify everything from the literature. And now, another most important part, and which is misunderstood, or rather we can say not understood by most of us, that Dr. Hahnemann is telling about the lowest potency, minimum dose, and we don't know that what is that lowest potency is and minimum dose is. In the sixth, if you compare the 5th and 6th edition, in 6th edition, most of the changes done by Dr. Hahnemann, which is varying from the 5th edition, was regarding the dosing methodology, potency, dosing, and degradation. So there is one wrong concept regarding the low potency. Some say that 30 is the lowest potency, low potency, 200 is the medium potency, and 1M10M are the higher potency. So some are saying that 6x, 12x are the lower potency. So regarding those also, few are saying that few medicated globules is the minimum dose, and they are giving that accordingly. So these are some misconceptions up to the 5th edition, and due to the wrong understanding or partial understanding of 5th edition. But in the 6th edition, all the things have been changed by Dr. Hahnemann. If you read the aphorisms 275 and 276, another important point is coming to know that in the layman, it is said that homeopathy has no side effects. But in these two aphorisms, 275 and 276, Dr. Hahnemann is clearly writing that if we repeat frequently high potencies or the strong doses, then definitely it will cause the harm. And that harm is also more hazardous than the allopathy medication. So he is very clearly writing what he has wrote at that time. So this is true even today also. So even if we are choosing the correct medicine, but giving the high potencies frequently repeating, then definitely it will cause some hazard. So here high potencies means, if you see mostly, then Dr. Heinemann is saying about the centesimal potency, and its higher potency is 200 and above. So what Dr. Kent and Kentian followers of the who say that Kentian methodology they are applying, actually those are the high potency. And in 6th edition, Dr. Heinemann sir is saying that lowest potency, LM potency means 0 by 1. We have to start from lowest LM, 0 by 1 potency, lowest potency. So this aspect we need to understand. Another thing is that Dr. Heinemann sir is saying that we have to go on increasing the doses, slightly higher dose than previous one. But here, this Dr. Kent is saying that series of higher potency means series of potency means most of us are following that 30 potency, then giving 200, then 1M, then 10M like that. But what we want to achieve from giving the medicines, actually we need to understand. Dr. Heinemann sir is saying that even in aphorism 26 also, we need to have similar force but slightly higher than the disease force. So if we are giving similar medicine but having very large or very high dose, very high energy dose, then definitely it will cause some harm. So it may cause aggravation. Few say that aggravation is good, and this is causing because of this aphorism, this high potency. But they are justifying their way of higher potency. But all the adversities, all the difficulties of these centesimal potencies, high potencies, all they were vanished or can rectified by Dr. Heinemann's LM potencies. He himself is saying in aphorism 246 and its footnote that what I was using before few years, before 20 years, by not knowing better, he was using the centesimal potencies, and now all those difficulties are rectified by me with my new altered and perfected method of dynamization. Means he is saying that difficulties of centesimal potencies, high potencies, everything is rectified by him with the help of new discovery, these LM potencies. And what are the other benefits? That we can reduce the time of cure, duration of cure, up to what? Even half, 1/4 or even less than that. So if we compare the opinion about homeopathy in layman, that homeopathy is slow in working, it takes long time. So it may be at the cause of centesimal potency and rampantly used by us. And this drawback is recovered by Dr. Heinemann with the help of LM potency. Then Dr. Heinemann sir is saying that in aphorism 247 that it is impractical to repeat the same unaltered dose. So what is unaltered dose? Suppose the patient is coming to us, most of you are giving 30 potency or 200 potency. Then again he is coming, then again with new complaints, then again you are saying that give him a same dose of 30 potency or 200 potency like that. So here it is impractical to repeat the same dose, because once the medicine is given, if it is similar and if it is working, then the vitality increases. Then if you give the same dose, then the vital force will not accept the same dose, and rather it will cause more harm or resistance. That's why he is saying that we need to give slightly increasing doses, but that increasing doses should be slightly higher, not very much higher, and which is not possible with the centesimal potency. Another thing is that Dr. Heinemann is writing in the aphorism 248 that frequency of repetition in emergency, acute and chronic diseases. Here we need not to consider the duration of action of remedy. So many of us are very confused as the mathematicals are telling us regarding the duration of action of the medicines. And many of us are saying that duration of action is say 40-50 days or long acting medicine. So we should not give another medicine. Even if the patient symptomatology is changing, but we did not give the medicines. So this is also the imperfect or wrong understanding. Here Dr. Heinemann is saying that even though the medicine is having long duration of action, we can repeat the remedy as per the disease condition, whether it is emergency, acute or chronic disease, and that also without harm. So we need not to consider the duration of action of the medicine. So all these things are making homeopathy more easier if we correctly understand it. We have seen that we can get the rapidity, we can get the mild action, we can get the we need not to consider the duration of action. So we just have to focus on the stimulum. So that also the stimulum of that state. If the person is having one state of disease, then we have to consider that, and after that we have to go to next state. Like that we have to go on treating. Then another most important factor which is not considered by almost everybody of you, all the medicine manufacturing pharmacies, the thing is machine-made medicines. Dr. Hahnemann sir is writing at 2 places, and even he has written a letter to the Dr. Korsakov, who was a Russian physician who was first started preparing medicine with the machines. Dr. Hahnemann has asked him to stop the machine-made medicines. He is asking to make our own medicines by hand. You can read the aphorism 265 and 271. In aphorism 271, you read out the latter part. So here, clear-cut indication is that we should make our own medicines with hand, because machines are mechanically, the work with machines is done by mechanically, and if we make it by hand, then gentleness is, mildness is maintained. See, all the things regarding this potency, dose, and repetition, if we read the aphorism 246 and 276 with its footnote simultaneously, then you will come to know that why Dr. Hahnemann has adopted the new methodology, that repetition of the higher potency is hazardous, and those hazardous effects we are explaining with the help of clinical observations, everything. But all those difficulties are overcome by Dr. Hahnemann with the discovery of this LM potency. And the bad part of our history of homeopathy is that Dr. Kate didn't get the 6th edition. Whatever the practice he has done, he was doing with the help of centesimal potency, and whatever his observations, series of potency and aggravations, managing aggravations, all the things are given by Dr. Kent is because of 5th edition. And he was, as he didn't get the 6th edition, he was unaware about this LM potency. That's why whatever observation he was having, it's okay. But now we know that we are having the updated knowledge regarding dosing methodology, potencies, then we should adopt this. This is also one of the important factors which is missing in our practice. Now, more crucial part regarding the homeopathy is the miasms. So there is vast and great varieties of understanding and assumptions regarding the miasms, regarding the antisoric treatment, like that. If we see most of the homeopaths which is having understanding of miasm as per the 74 aphorism. So there it is written that irritation, inflammation, then contraction, dilatation, induration, then degeneration, destructions, and all these factors, they have made it as hallmarks of miasms accordingly. Psora, psychosis, syphilis. But if we read this aphorism carefully, we will come to know that in the beginning of the aphorism only, Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying that amongst chronic diseases, means out of the chronic diseases, few diseases are like this. They are having this presentation, everything. And this is caused because of prolonged use of heroic medicine, means long duration of medication. That also crude medication, or in present day we can say that long duration of medication, especially Ayurvedic or allopathic, which is causing some changes in body, or the other vital force is causing some changes in the physical body to preserve the whole. And these consequences are actually happening for long duration. That's why these are the part of the chronic diseases, to which Dr. Hahnemann is saying that these are the artificial chronic diseases. Okay. If you read this aphorism with aphorism 241, 204 actually. There in 204, Dr. Hahnemann sir is writing that those diseases which are considered in aphorism 77 means wrong use of wrong habits of diet and residence regimen like that, and diseases considered under aphorism 74, excluding that, are remaining actually the true natural chronic diseases which are caused by Sora. So very markingly, if you read the aphorism 74 and 204, you will come to know this. But if you read the understanding about the miasms from the book P.S. Ortega and present stalwarts also, they are considering the hallmarks of the sentences given in the aphorism 74 as a hallmarks of miasms. So it is not that. Then again, in this same context, if you read the aphorism 80 and 81, its footnotes, you will see that all the diseases starting from the epilepsy, inflammations, asthma, cancer, psychosis, bone degeneration, all the diseases which actually are caused by the Sora. So it is not that Sora is the mother of all diseases, but in the beginning it is caused due to Sora. It is not like that. Many stalwarts are explaining their opinion like that. Sora is mother of all diseases means in the beginning it is inflammation, irritation, that's why it is causing. It is not so. Dr. Hahnemann is directly writing that all these diseases enlisted in aphorism 80 and 81 are caused by the Sora. If you see another aspect, see, Dr. Hahnemann is saying that 7-8 diseases are caused by Sora. Nowadays, if you enlist all the diseases from the medical book of medicine, you enumerate that and you see 7-8 diseases are caused by Sora, means all the pathological conditions are caused by Sora. So if the aphorism 74 and 74 understanding is true as per other authors, as per Ortega, it is not matching with this Hahnemann's another sentence with 7-8 diseases caused by Sora. Okay, so this wrong concept, nowadays another concept is coming up that they are dividing the mental rubrics in the miasms. So as per the miasms, mental states or mental rubrics are also divided. So if you see a wrong understanding of one idea and the followers of that wrong idea goes on doing another wrong thing, adding on another wrong thing in the homeopathy literature. So you can verify this from the original literature. Another thing, if you read out few pages from the chronic diseases regarding the psychosis and syphilis, here Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying that impure poison means a person is having psychosis or syphilis and another person is coming in contact with that sexually, then only it is possible to get infected with psychosis and syphilis. So instead of that, nobody can get this psychosis and syphilis miasm. And then how can it be key 74 indication, aphorism 74 indication as a hallmark? They are considering that contraction, dilatation and induration as a hallmark of psychosis and degeneration destruction as a hallmark of syphilis. It is not so. So most of us, or most of the stalwarts, they never compared the aphorisms, compared the knowledge simultaneously reading the things and understanding. They are trying to understand in part, in some topic. So that's why these wrong concepts are going on. And most of the lay homeopaths like us, we never try to verify the things taught by stalwarts or written in the books with the Hahnemannian literature. We accept that as it is, and then we struggle in our practice. We think that we are at the fault. We are not getting such better understanding, or we are not that much knowledge. That's why we either blame ourselves or our understanding. But we never think that let's verify this from the literature, Hahnemannian literature. So this you have to understand. Then Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying in the aphorism 43 that a Sora must be investigated in the forms of signs and symptoms. So what is that signs and symptoms? Why is saying that the SORA must be investigated. So what is the way out to find out the SORA? So there he is saying that signs and symptoms, and those signs and symptoms are given in the chronic diseases. With the investigation of that signs and symptoms, and if we remove that signs and symptoms, we can cure the SORA. Even Dr. Hahnemann himself declared that he was free from SORA. He has written one letter to the staff, and he is saying that means we can eradicate the SORA, means we can eradicate all the chronic diseases. You can name anything, but we need to understand this Hahnemannian thought process of Mayans correctly. So Hahnemann sir has given 48 antisoric remedies in the chronic diseases. Few of the remedies are present in MMP also. So why it is so? He has proven the medicines, he has published those medicines in the Mathematical, and then he is including some medicines from the Mathematical Pura to the chronic disease. So it is something significant in that why he is restricted to 48 remedies only, why he is including some remedies from Mathematical Pura to the chronic disease. So that we need to understand. This is also one of the missing things. Then this is also very crucial thing. Dr. Hahnemann sir was writing against this repertory. To read the chronic disease on this page number. Edition wise, this page may vary. So the book which I am having is having this reference on this page number 175. So there he is saying that he, as any repertory prevalent at his time, even the repertory is prepared by himself, lexicon and one more. So those also, even the work of Dr. Boni Hussain and Shah, that work also, it was not covering the SORA, monster head. That's why these repertories are useless. And this scenario is present even today. Most of the repertories are not covering the soric symptoms. That they don't know the eradication of the SORA. Repertories didn't get the symptoms of signs and symptoms of SORA, and that's why we are not able to cure this SORA. So we need to understand this. Then another factor is synthesis method and analytical way. We know that whenever the patient comes to us, we write down the patient's symptoms, and then we convert that symptoms into the rubrics, and then we try to find out that rubrics in the repertoire. And this work is called as analytical work. Suppose the patient is saying regarding headache and throat pain with fever. So we need to see this throat pain, headache, and fever at 3 locations. And if there are some modalities or some sensations, some accompanied symptoms, then we have to find out at different places. So this actually, patient is coming and telling in 1 or 2 sentences his complaint, and we have to find, we are segmenting it in the rubrics and then finding it in the different locations. So there can be chances of mistakes there. But this is not actually the Hahnemannian way. What Hahnemann sir is saying that if you read out in the Mathematica also, Mathematica Pura, he is writing about the one state. A disease, a person is coming with disease state, and he is saying about headache, throat pain, and fever. So in 1 or 2 lines only you will get everything. Headache, throat pain, and fever. So Hahnemann sir has tried to synthesize the state of human disease person, and this we need to understand. And same states you can find out in the Mathematica also. And we come up with this solution. We are come up with the rubric-free repertory where we are directly searching the symptoms of a patient in the Mathematica. So need not to verify the selected remedy to finalize the exact remedy, indicated remedy. So we come up with the group of remedies after putting the rubric in the repertory, and then we finalize the remedy as per our knowledge, understanding, or from reading it from the Mathematica. So all these steps is been lapsed. We are directly putting some keywords and searching the Mathematica, Hahnemannian Mathematica, and coming up with the similar state matching with that patient and directly selecting the remedy. So as we didn't understand, most of the stalwarts didn't understand this process, they are went on doing the putting the many remedies proving many remedies and putting the many rubrics. Now the list of remedies is expanding. We are having thousands of remedies. Whether Dr. Hammer has proved 99 remedies, and in his lifetime he is almost 124, 125 remedies. But nowadays we are having thousands of remedies. Our Matra Medica and repertories are becoming bulky. So, and even though we are having lot much data, we are not having the correctness. We are not having the not knowing whether we are selecting the remedy from the rubrics or from the remedies which is correctly proven or not. So in our repertories and Matra Medica, now there is a lot of medicine rubrics is been included by imagination, hypothecation, like that. So some are doing grouping, so group characters, and then putting the group characters in that. Then some minerals and elements as per the series and rows, they are trying to imagine the rubrics and then they are putting in the mathematical repertoire. Then tree improving, like that. So lot much things are going on which is not in the line of Hahnemann. Dr. Hahnemann sir is saying that well proved remedies, but we are not following. And even we are using such a data from repertories and Matra Medica, we are relying on such a data that actually is not on the line of Dr. Hahnemann's teaching. Then another is the Dr. Kate and Kentian followers, they have done the drug picture formation. So this drug looks like this, his nature is like this, his physical appearance is like this, like that. So that drug picture formation also created some images in our mind. So we don't come out of that images, and that's why we miss the correct remedy. So this is also actually the prejudiceness. So drug picture created the prejudiceness in our mind, and which is diverting us from selecting the similar and making this process of selection of remedy complicated also. So the simplicity is missing. Then there are so many factors which we never consider in the remedy selections and the process of treating and management of a case. One of that is the auxiliary natural sciences. As in the previously also in Episode 53 we have seen that Hahnemann sir is saying that cure is sure because of it rests on the natural sciences. So what are the natural sciences are? What are those auxiliary sciences? And how we can use it? So we need to understand that. If we read the one article from the lesser writings of Dr. Hahnemann, Friends of Health, there we can understand what are those auxiliary natural sciences. So that we need to understand. For example, what happens with the microorganisms and vitality. We know that we are coming across the number of pathogens or microorganisms, and few of them affecting us or few of them are not affecting. So we take a recent example of coronavirus. So coronavirus is affecting in the modern countries more. It is not that much affecting in the underdeveloped or developing countries like India. Why this is so? Another factor is that not only affecting, but the death or the pathogenicity virulence is more in the Western countries, less in the underdeveloped or developing countries like India. So we need to understand that here overemphasize on the hygiene is not there in India as compared to Western countries. We are ongoingly exposed with natural conditions. We are having 3 seasons, all regularly changing the seasons and atmosphere. Then changes in temperature taken place. So all these factors are important to build up the natural immunity. Again, we are regularly get exposed with these microorganisms as mostly especially in the villages or less town places. So this continuous exposure with the microorganisms is building up the immunity, and that's why we are more immune. So this factor, this is also one of the mechanisms to build up the immunity naturally, and that's why we are more immune, we are more secured, we are not get affected from the corona infections. So this is one of the aspects here. Vitality or the immunity or the vital power of a person is more important than the microorganisms. Microorganisms can't affect us unless and until our vitality goes down. This also we need to understand. So if you see, many persons are coming in contact with the corona patient. This is very much contagious, but still not everybody is getting the infection. And even though he is getting the infection, he is not suffering from that. And now most of the patients from India are having positive, corona positive test wise, but they are not having signs and symptoms, or even though they are having signs and symptoms, those are very less hazardous. That means here vitality is working. That microorganism is not affecting us because of vitality is good. So like this way, we need to understand the our natural sciences, health and behavior of a person during the disease. So this we need to understand. Sometimes whatever the things coming, knowledge part coming from the textbooks also we need to verify. I have given you the example of hemoglobin percentage in the Indian women's, and natural normal reference range is given in the reports, investigation reports, or even books. So these are some factors which we need to understand. Dr. Hahnemann has very vastly and elaborately given the part regarding the diet, regimen, mind state, his behavior, how should be his thinking, how should be his morality during the treatment, during antisocial treatment. So all these are based on the natural sciences, natural behavior of a human being as a creature. Then regarding same diet and regimen aspect, natural living, mode of living aspect, Dr. Hahnemann is saying different type of, he has given different type of instruction regarding this diet and living in acute and different in the chronic disease. So in acute disease, he is saying that we can allow the person to take the food which he wants to take, except the medicinal substances or the substances which is having some medicinal properties. So if a person is saying that he wants to eat the some hot thing, so we need to provide the hot thing, because body itself know that how to recover from the any disease, how to cope up with this disease state. But in chronic disease, there are different indications, different guidelines that we need to understand very significantly. If we read the aphorism 60 and its footnote 2 to 63, and from the TCD, the chronic disease, we'll come to know about the diet regimen. Most of the homeopaths, they are having the idea of a diet regimen restricted to the scented things, onions and garlic, would not take like that much only. But Dr. Hahnemann has given very elaborately regarding this instruction, how it is affecting like that. So we need to apply all the things. Now if you see, Dr. Hahnemann has left us one perfected science, one more complete science, but nowadays we are having many different systems and methods of practices. You come to know that few people are prescribing door potencies, 3x, 6x, like that, biochemic medicine. Few are prescribing 3C, 6C, 12C. Few are prescribing 200, 1M, 10M, so high potency prescribers. Some are prescribing like allopathy, that this is the fever medicine, this is for the cough medicine, cough syrup. So these many patented medicines come up. Many stalwarts, they are propagating actually for the patented medicines like allopathy. So we are having mixers or patent. So combination medicines, combination for the headache, combination for the cough syrup, combination for the fever, like that. So this is allopathy like practice. Then few people, they are prescribing high potency and low potency, suddenly giving high potency, suddenly giving low potency, or for particular disease states, they are having some idea that mental diseases give hypotension, pathological condition, some gross pathological changes taking place, organic diseases are there, give low potency, like that. Then apart from that, most of the remaining people, they are actually classical or Kantian followers, so-called classical, so-called Kantian. But as we have seen that Dr. Kant didn't get the sixth edition and the prescription methodology, the adversities of the hypotension used by Dr. Kant. It's been all the things is been recovered or rectified by the use of LM potency. So even though we are saying that Kant is the most, Dr. Kant is the most authentic follower of Dr. Hahnemann, but he didn't use some part of homeopathy given by Dr. Hahnemann because he didn't get the sixth edition, and that's why Kantian methodology is not the completely covering the Hahnemannian thought process. Now another modified Kantian methodologies come up. Some are prescribing on mind rubrics only. They never considering the miasms, physical complaints, and modalities like that. They are prescribing only on the mental rubrics. Then sensation method. Doctor, very sorry to say, we should not blame or we don't want actually to hurt anybody. We just wanted to compare the things with Hahnemann sir. So Dr. Rajan Shankaran sir is having sensation methodology. He is reaching to some group of animal group or plant group or mineral group, and then minimizing the search to some remedies and then giving the medicines. He's actually added some more miasms, typhoid, malaria, cancer miasm like that. But which everything is covered by Dr. Hahnemann in the miasms. So this is actually diverting more or less towards the from the Hahnemannian thought process. Then predictive. His predictive methodology is also one of the modified Kantian practices. So they are giving more importance to the person as a whole, or they have also misunderstood the miasms. They are dividing the miasm as per the 74 aphorism and treating as per the miasms. So these are some methods. Then Dr. John Charlton's minerals and elements, then lanthanides, actinides. So he is dividing the series and rows and according to some features from Mathematics, he is trying to imagine some features of remaining medicines which are not even proven, and all this Mathematics has been created, and now those Mathematics has been put into the repertory, and we are relying on that such data. So there are chances of mistakes which we are not considering or thinking that this can be. Then another renowned physician, Dr. Vitholkar sir, he is also following most of the Kantian methodology. So this is there also modified Kantian thought process. So then another technique or system or method is the ML Dhawale. So there are Dr. Dhawale, he has done combination of Dr. Kant's, Dr. Boger and Boni Hussein's thought process, and he combined the methodology and doing the practices. So there are many practices going on other than this also, which we are not enumerated here. But if we see this, we to compare this with the Hahnemann sir's thinking or his teaching, we come to know that they are lacking, they are not following rather many Hahnemannian instructions. They are actually diverting their methodology. They are diverting us from the Hahnemannian thought process. So we need to consider this. How we can practice correctly if we are having so much diversity. Unfortunately, no one of these different types of prescriber or methodology discoverers or the so-called stalwarts, no one is following the Hahnemannian thought process, is teaching correctly and completely. They are taking out some work or some part of or some rubrics, some references from the aphorism, and they are justifying their way of practices. But all the teaching, all the thought process given by Dr. Hahnemann is not followed by even a single star word. So this is very astonishing that even though nobody is following in such a way correctly and completely to Dr. Hahnemann, still homeopathy is gaining some popularity, name and fame. We are now at the second number as a choice of medicine globally. But I think that this is the very fortunate part of our homeopathy system, because some other systems are having some side effects, they are not having curative medication, and because of that, people think of adopting for the homeopathy, and that's why we are increasing number. But definitely the quality is missing here, the accuracy is missing, the assiduous following the Hahnemann principles are missing. So this is the present day scenario. Then how you are going to come to know that what is exactly the Hahnemann thought process? So we have used some terminologies to put forth our idea regarding this correct and complete methodology. So as we know that Dr. Hahnemann said that homeopathy is a simple science, it is the cure is sure, like that. So we from that reading, studying after the different methodology, different practicing techniques, we came to know that this is different from the Hahnemann thought process. Then we started with studying the Hahnemann books, and then we come up with some conclusions. So the correct, complete and easy to follow Hahnemann homeopathy. So here we give the name Virgin Homeopathy. We don't intended to create another system of medicine. Already there are so many techniques and systems established with different names. We don't want to establish ourselves as giving some name, but we don't have the way out. Other than this, we cannot say that Hahnemann homeopathy. We cannot say that classical homeopathy, because already there are so many wrong concepts or partial concepts is been accepted as Hahnemannian or accepted as a classical. So we have given our name Virgin Homeopathy. What is virgin? So the untouched part from the Hahnemannian literature, like electropotency, the miasms, then original to pure form of homeopathy. So it is not changed or not spoiled. So we have seen that 74 aphorism are misunderstood. Well, that means actually they spoiled the understanding of miasms. So we try, rather we followed assiduously to use the untouched part, original pure form, and not to change anything or not to spoil the Hahnemannian thought process. More important is this: we have nothing added anything from us, from our side, or nothing omitted or nothing reduced from the Hahnemannian teachings. And another aspect is that understanding Dr. Hahnemann in his own perspective, not with our thought process, not with our perspective. So understanding Hahnemann in his own perspective, and that also in evolution, with evolution. So we know that many are justifying centesimal potency. Yes, it's okay. It is the Hahnemannian thought process. But as they are not knowing about the evolution of potencies, as per the organon teachings, they are not knowing the importance of LM potency. So this aspect was also missing, the evolutionary aspect regarding any topic. You can say the dose potency multimedia, then other topics also. So this evolutionary history or evolution of homeopathy is also important. So all the aspects we are considering in the this Virgin Homeopathy, and we are teaching it. So correct homeopathy, complete homeopathy, and easy to follow. The Hahnemann processes are very simple, very easy. That's why he made saying that this science is a simple science, and that part also we are considering. So that is Virgin Homeopathy. Here you are having two options. If you understand our webinar correctly, if you verify the references from the original literature of Dr. Hahnemann, you will come to know that homeopathy is really simple science. You just have to read it synthesizedly. You need to understand in a Hahnemannian way. So you can read it out you can study the literature to understand and to practice the correct homeopathy, or you are having another option. So we have created our Brazilian homeopathy scientific coaching, which we have divided all the Hahnemann practical part in 13 modules, which is actually outcome based. On the website also you can see that we are having these 13 modules and their outcomes. Actually they were 15 modules, and now we have modified that. So every module is having some outcome, and you need to get that outcome. Then only you can. We think that you will get the correct understanding. So each module, now modified modules are having, each module is having 5 lectures. So likewise we are giving the 65 lecture, we are having 20 case presentation, then live discussions we are meeting, so to solve the difficulties regarding these modules or teaching, and your practical difficulties, we are giving some assignments. There is another difficulty that we know that we are having all the books of Dr. Hahnemann, but we fail to understand correctly because we don't know how to read it, how to understand this correctly. So there are some long sentences, some difficult words, old terminology. So these are some difficulties. So to cope up with these difficulties, we are asking you people to go on reading the books, and we give you the technique how to read it, and accordingly you have to complete the assignment. Another thing is that we come up with the unique repertory, our home repertory software, where you can manage the patient management system is also there, then giving appointment and everything, billing. But most important part is this is the rubric free repertory. And more important than that is that what Dr. Hahnemann sir is expecting from the chronic disease is that none of the repertory which is covering the master head, the SORA, the signs and symptoms of SORA, and what the scenario was there at his time is also presently none of the repertory, so extensively repertories and software, complete synthesis and MAC and everything, they are not giving very correct information correctly. They are not covering the Hahnemann aspect regarding this master head. So this unique repertory we have created. So we are teaching this repertory to you also during the VHC coaching. So 5 dedicated lectures are there. Then we are asking you people to conduct some seminars for the layman, so that they can know that you are doing now the correct practices. There are many different opinion and wrong ideas amongst the patients. So we need to rectify those also. That's why we are asking you people to conduct some seminars amongst your patients. And one seminar for your doctors also. So your colleagues or your friends, homeopathic practitioners, there also you have to tell them what actually you are doing, so that will benefit you people also, your patients also, and suffering humanity also. And likewise we can spread the correct Hahnemann practices from starting from the homeopaths to the laymen. So you can come to our clinics and you can see how we are practicing. So you have to complete the minimum 20 days clinical training program. So you can see lively how we practice. Then we are also handling or giving assistance to you to cure your cases, to treat or to deal your cases during the curriculum. So this is the 6 months, almost 6 months curriculum. We are covering it, and we are covering different aspects, everything, almost everything regarding the Hahnemann literature, his teachings and everything. And till today, hundreds of students from all over the India have completed our coaching, and they are practicing with good results in terms of in terms of cure and financial gain also, obviously. So this is what about the VHSC. This is the basic structure, how we are giving the week-wise, giving the lectures, and then covering some assignments and then discussions. So weekly we are providing some lectures recording. You need to do 2 assignments per week, and then we come up with the live discussion. So we will solve all the difficulties regarding your recording, your practical difficulties, your clinical difficulties in that discussion regarding that topic. And likewise we went on gaining the correct knowledge. We are taking you to such level that afterward there will be no need to go for any of the method or system or prescribing techniques to adopt. So whenever anybody is teaching you, anybody is telling you, or whenever you see any methodology, then you will see through the view of Hahnemannian text. So then you will clearly come to know that the technique which you are going to adopt or which you come across, where they are following Hahnemannian teachings or not, where they are missing something or what they are practices is lacking, like that. So this is the great advantage of this. So I would like to invite you people to join the mission in learning the correct, complete and easy to follow Hahnemannian homeopathy. We have already completed our 11 batches. 10th 11 batch is going on the verge of completion. 9 batches have already completed. Now next batch, 12th batch is going to start on the 15th June. We are having our websites also, friendsofhealth.co.in and workhome.com, where you can see our doctors, our students, alumni opinions and patients' opinions also. More details about us. We are also present on the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and Instagram. You can search with our name to get more details, more videos regarding a knowledge part. We try to give everything there. So this is all what about the today's webinar. We wanted to tell you regarding this present scenario and where we are lacking, missing, why different systems and methodologies, and where they are mistakenly understood the Hahnemannian literature, and why there are some different varieties. And if you understand Hahnemannian thought process correctly and completely, and if you apply it the simplest way, then definitely you will get the better result rapidly and certainly. So with this, I would like to invite you all people to go for your questions. We will try to satisfy your answers. Those questions which will remain unanswered, we have already created the WhatsApp groups. We have sent you the link. You can mail us or you can write on the WhatsApp so that we can satisfy all your questions and queries. So that you will get the accurate knowledge, complete knowledge of Hahnemannian way of practices. Thank you.